All right, it's been a week since I was out in California for NAMM 2025, so let's go ahead and do a quick recap. Welcome back, I'm Tony, and yeah, it's been a week since I was out in California for the NAMM 2025 convention in Anaheim, California. It's a great trip. This is it's not an easy thing when you live on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. First of all, the nearest airport is at least an hour and a half away, so had to drive up there, stay at a hotel, get up the next morning, and fly all day from Virginia to California. Now, I grew up in San Diego, so I have family there, and there was some business that I wanted to do there, so I flew out early, spent a few days with family doing business down there as well. And then Tyler Brittan, my nephew, who is an amazing musician. Yeah, you got to check out his channel. I'll put a link down in the description for that. Well, he and I drove up the 5 along the coast and even drove by San Onofre, which as a kid, we always like, oh, that looks like boobs. So that was kind of cool. We stayed about a mile away at the Sheraton Hotel and I just left my car there and Ubered back and forth. It was a great trip. Now, I've been to conventions for things that I have a passion for before. So, I kind of knew what to expect, but man, my mind was blown. I was just like a kid in a candy store with ADHD, just like squirrel, 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 squirrel. As sometimes happens, I lost one of my memory cards, so I lost a good section of my memories. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer, but I've got sufficient stuff, so let's go ahead and show you what I did see out there. One of the things that I signed up for before I even got there was for these Eargasm HD earplugs. Yeah, so these things were really nice. I stopped over to their booth and picked them up. Great for concerts, on stage, whatever. I like to say if it's free, it's for me, right? There's so many photo ops out there. There's so many things to take pictures of, and including like this. This is a throne of Gibson guitars, and I was like, dude, I gotta get my picture on that. And then this giant Gibson guitar that's made of all the parts from all the different guitars, all the necks, all the pickups, and all that stuff. That was really cool. And pretty much everything there is available to play, which is awesome. I mean, there was just things that I always wanted to try, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I got to try a bunch of that. And then even just walking by a piano in one of the hallways there, my nephew Tyler stopped to play for a minute. I think that was Alice in Chains that he was playing. I also met a lot of different influencers, and some of them I didn't meet because they were busy, and I saw them and I was like, all right, well, I don't want to interrupt them or anything like that. But the Bald Shredder was over at the Fesley booth, and I stopped there and just, it was funny because I mad mugged him a little bit. I was like, when I walked up there, but he was like, hey, so I was just messing with him. But yeah, super nice guy, and Fesley makes some great guitars. Looking forward to working with them because I know what they've got coming in their pipeline, and there's some nice stuff. These guitars are inexpensive and very well made. One of my favorite female influencers is Erin Coburn from Coburn Official on Instagram. Tyler and I were invited to a Rock Lock, the strap locks, meetup, and she was there and just super gracious. I felt a little bit like a fanboy, like, Erin, I really love what you do. And she's like, oh, that's great. Anyways, her and Tyler really hit it off because they are very much into production, and I'm trying to get into that too. I did run across the Guitar Geek and we stopped and talked for a few minutes. He's a really nice guy, and my cameras were all out of power at the time. Head on a swivel, man, because there was just things everywhere that I wanted to touch, experience, and see, including like giant walls of effects. Every room or hall that we went into was filled with just stuff. I just wanted to sit down and play everything. The PV room was loaded with PV, Yamaha, Helix, and more, and my nephew and I sat and played that stuff for a while. Of course, one of my main destinations there was Cream. I wanted to go and meet Luis, the CEO of the company. They make fantastic, amazing guitars, and they have 2 new models that they introduced at NAMM. They're not even on the website yet, I don't think. But if you haven't seen that interview, link is popping up right here. You can go check that out now. He gives a really good interview, and it's some real good insight into why his guitars are special. Right behind that was the Donner booth, and I've got a few Donner things around here, and so I really wanted to try out that new Hush X Pro, and I gotta say, that thing is really nice. My nephew and I both really enjoyed that. Super lightweight, a great little travel guitar. It's got built-in effects, and it's made with quality materials and played great. So maybe I'll have to get my hands on one of those. I was very interested in talking to a lot of the Chinese companies because they make great budget guitars, and I know a lot of us are on budget. So I do like to review those here on the channel, give people a chance to get something that's good for a little money, and maybe they can upgrade to something, fantastic later on. IYV was one of those companies. I just recently got one that I'm going to review here real soon. I got it off of Amazon. It's a nice guitar, so I know they make custom guitars, so I stopped and talked with them. Might just have to get one made for myself. There was also a company called Karaya, I think is how you pronounce it. Man, they had some really nice guitars there. I mean, I'm talking like a Fender Acoustasonic lookalike that was only like $169, so gonna have to check this company out. There was also some really interesting innovations that I saw out there. One of these was a company called Crowbot. Really nice guy. He makes these things himself from scratch. He's got his own idea, and what's cool about it, say you've got a guitar and you've got two different necks. You like the body of this guitar, but you'd like to try different necks on it. Maybe you want a multi-scale neck and just a standard scale neck, that type of thing. Well, you know what this thing is? Check this out. You can just pop the neck off of the guitar using only one bolt on the back of it, and the Allen wrench is actually embedded in the guitar. You take the neck off of there with the strings intact, and it takes the whole neck off as well as the bridge, and you just move that to another guitar. So you could have, theoretically, a couple of guitars and switch the necks back and forth or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different applications for that, but not only was that the case, but these guitars played amazingly well, and he used all top-notch stuff on there, bare knuckle pickups and all that kind of stuff, so that was really cool. And speaking of bare knuckle pickups, I did stop by there and drooled over their pickups. Got an idea of what I might want to get for my guitar coming up here soon. And there's a few guitars that I have that I want to modify, so I found a lot of stuff out there for that. And then on the weird innovation stuff, a travel guitar that folds up. Check this thing out. Folds in half. You can put it in a backpack, and then when you're done, you just unfold it, and there's a big latch in the back of it. You just clop that thing down, and it is solid again. That was pretty cool, and I did play one. It played really nicely, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. And speaking of travel guitars, these are some really interesting ones that they don't fold down or anything. They're smaller scale. Instead of the tuning pegs being on the headstock or at the end of the guitar, they're actually built into the body of the guitar. These ones were ESP versions of it, but they also have, this company makes a bunch of different ones. I've been interested in Strandbergs for a while, so I stopped by there and checked out what they had there, and man, they had some sexy stuff, including this one right here. Man, oh. Just walking around the floor and seeing what all is there, you're like, man, this is just amazing. Stopped over to the Marshall booth. This is before it was announced that they were sold to a China company. I'm pretty sure that's true. They had the Sex Pistols amps in there. They had all kinds of really cool. It was really just nice to be walking around and seeing and being able to touch and feel all these things. Speaking of amps, the Orange booth was also very nice. They had the wall of amps display. And I don't own an Orange amp, but I played a couple of them and they were really nice. There's definitely some stuff there that I would be interested in. Then I stopped by the Clear Tone booth. They had reached out to me before I went out there, and I said, man, I got to stop by and see because they are coated. Well, they have a bunch of different ones. This is an assortment of the ones that I was able to pick up from them. These things are, man, I can't wait to get all my guitars strung up with them. I've strung one of the guitars with them, with the Clear Tones, and they are fantastic. They ring true, they're coated, and they sound really, really good. Well, let's hear from them what makes them special.
All right, so I'm standing here with Scott. Scott, you are one of the, you are the sales manager?
The head of sales and marketing over at Clear Tone in Everly.
Excellent. My name is Michael Scalzo.
Okay. And tell me what we're looking at right here.
So this is our corrosion demonstration we do every year. On the left, we have uncoated strings. On the right, we have a set of our Clear Tone strings with our patented half-micron thin treatment. Very exaggerated, but every time you play guitar, a little bit of dirt, oil, sweat, grime is going to bond to your strings, lead to rust and lack of tone eventually. With Clear Tone, the half-micron thin solution will keep all sweat, oils, all moisture from bonding to the strings and keep them lasting pristine.
Clearly from looking at that, right? I mean, that's a whole day of just sitting in water.
Yeah, you can put your finger in there, but we'll probably have to get you a tetanus shot.
A little bit of sweat, it's probably not going to be as bad as that, right?
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. So are they available around the country?
They're available in most independent retailers, Sweetwater, lots of your big box shops, direct on our website as well as Amazon.
Sweet. Quickly, what was the origin of this company?
So we were founded by Phil Everly, the Everly brothers. He wasn't satisfied with existing strings, so he started with his Everly line. After Elixir came out, wanted something with a little more lifespan, so that's where we developed Clear Tone. Our treated string we viewed as the alternative to traditional coated sets. We're not using any rubber and no plastic-based treatments. Will never flake or fray no matter how hard you play.
Awesome, dude. Well, thank you, man.
Anytime. Thanks for stopping by.
Not only do they have strings, but they also have these star picks. And, you know, as I've gotten older, sometimes it's a little bit harder to keep that pick from spinning in my finger, or, you know what I mean? But these have a little star right in the center of them, and that really allows you to hold on to them. And these yellow ones, they're basically the same, well, they're the same feel as the yellow Tortex that I've been using since the 80s. I'll definitely be using these picks. But there was also some fun stuff out there, like the fart pedal. I've seen this fart pedal before, and I was like, this is, I gotta try it for myself. So I stopped by, talked with the owner of the fart pedal company, and he said, pick that up. I started playing that, man, and I got a pretty decent little crowd there. It was a lot of fun. The fart pedal, you know what? It's frivolous, but fun. I want one. My head was on a swivel just because there was just so much, and there were actual, you know, professional musicians, rock stars that I missed when I was out there. I was like, dang, all right, well, she's, yeah, right time, right place, or right time, wrong place, or something like that. But oh well, maybe next time. When I stopped over to Lava to talk to Sean, they had a performer over there that was showing how to use Lava Genie in a live performance, so that was pretty cool. Right next to that was Third Man, you know, Jack White's Third Man stuff. So Sean was like, yeah, you just missed Jack White. I was like, dang, I keep missing all the rock stars. But I did stop by the booth. Their guitars look fantastic, and they've got some really cool new effects. There's even one that has like a telegraph thing on it. So we're interested in finding out more about those. There was a lot of people over there, and it was pretty loud, so I didn't really have a chance to check it out completely. I also stopped by the Merkaba booth. That's the people that make the Soundstone that I reviewed here. They've got this cool auto harp, you know what, check out their social media, because I don't really know exactly how to explain this thing, but it was neat. And they also have a new pedal that I was pretty enamored with, so maybe I'll get one of those and review that on the channel. The other thing, I'm not even sure how I would use it. It's almost like a MIDI interface stringed harp type thing. But it was really nice to meet the guys from Merkaba. They're hardworking, and they really believe in what they're doing, so I appreciate that. I also ran into Landon over at the Chaos Audio booth. They make the Stratus Pedal, that multi-effects pedal. Got a lot of new stuff coming. He told me about a lot of it, including amp sims and that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. So I know I'm not bringing you any earth-shattering news or anything like that. My head was just exploding from all the awesomeness that was out there. Next time, I'll have a much better game plan, and I'll make sure that I don't lose any memory cards. I was pretty bummed about that. It was good stuff on there. Thanks again to Tyler for helping me out with the camera work, and it was just an awesome, awesome time. And thanks to NAMM for putting on such a great event. I will definitely be there next year. Well, I know I said it was going to be a quick recap. Maybe not so quick, but I just wanted to share my experiences out there. So big thanks to all the vendors and to NAMM 2025 for making an awesome experience. Well, it's Friday, and it's about time for me to get out of here, so I wanted to remind you, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a red subscribe button down there and notification bell. If you click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. And don't forget to comment on this video. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.